Hi guys, welcome to Nightwatch 716. I'm Eric, and Michelle is here, I think, still.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
And there's Michelle! You also have Wins, and you have Shun on the phone as well. We're all on Discord.
Hi. Oh, I'm on a
Are you?
different from both of you.
Moja Cranberry.
Are we queuing up to go to anyone's?
Uh, just the
I
one in, just public.
mean, I'm.
Oh, hello Shun, you made it.
Yeah, I'm in the main map.
Uh,
I
You're,
was the main one too, but I'm man gonna do it.
woohoo, good job. We're on Overflow team. How are you, Cranberry? How's your Friday? We got 49 people. We're good.
Oh, you're good, yeah.
Maybe you're the overflow.
Yeah.
No, we've got 50 people.
It's a difference of one, but okay.
Yeah.
Let me double check my
You
mic.
only have 50,
Oh, I'm good.
but 10 of them are AFK.
It's quality over quantity.
That's right.
I would quickly change my tune if we had more.
For the Janthir Wilds, that one we had like 30 people, which should have been enough. I was in the overflow, and the people were just hanging around. Like, come on, I'm gonna come murder you myself.
Preparing for Sunday. Going to be a long trip to reach the observatory. But making a go for it. Oh, that looks really cool. I would love to go to an observatory. The best I got is just staring at Michelle at night.
Which she enjoys doing.
Yeah,
Apparently.
I was gonna say, I'm like, if that's a bad thing,
You better add to that.
if I had said that to my wife, I'd be like, okay, forget the couch. I'll be outside in the pine needles.
What's she gonna do? I know where she sleeps.
I'm sensing
My
that.
wife knows which of the pillows is the heaviest.
Oh, nobody has been there for years. Ooh, it's a haunted observatory. The bridge to it collapsed. Uh-oh. And abandoned. It took me 2 years to find a route that can get me there. I'm going to have to climb a ridge and make my way down to it. Oh my goodness. In my head, I was like, bridge is out. Wait, are you going to use your grappling hook, kind of like Bionic Commando? That would be awesome. Dangerous, super dangerous, but awesome.
You have his stamp of approval.
Don't do this at home, kids. But if you do,
Like
it's
the observatory.
it's effing awesome. Take pictures. That sounds awesome. Okay, does it have a shield up?
Send your face with the stun.
Yeah, it kept like pulsing a force field at me, and I was like,
Oh, we got champions. Oh.
yeah, we got champions. Well, not so much hunting as like they're coming right at us.
Yeah. Uh oh. Oh, that may be down there on the.
Oh, the little bio bombs, wherever they are, that go past you.
Probably.
Maybe I'm thinking the wrong thing. I don't know.
Oh, I see him. Yep. Uh oh, I see dead bodies.
So I got my final grades. I got B minus in history. Well, I got a B in history. I got a B plus in marketing, and I got an A in physics. Which is funny because I thought it would have been the other way around. But my history teacher was very, very strict on his grading policies. And so that was a bit of a pain in the butt.
Mixed.
But I mean, I knew the subject very well. Like I knew a lot. I learned a lot about World War One. I mean, Michelle can vouch how much I was talking to her about it.
Oh,
Oh,
a
a
ton of it.
I mean, like my friends were surprised because they also heard me talk about it, and I was like, it's not that I don't know it; it's just that I didn't expand on it enough in a hint. Because so, okay, in order to combat AI, this teacher had us bring in actual blue books and then pen and paper, handwrite our essays.
Wow.
So he wanted us to write minimum 4 to 6 pages on two short-term subjects, and then minimum 8 to 10 pages on long-term subject. And so he knocked me off points for being minimum. And I was like, bro, if you want it to be 5 pages, say 5 pages.
I know, right?
But I want you to write 5 pages.
My brother had a teacher from India that was extremely ridiculously strict as well. They have really bad reviews. Let's just say that there's a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's students that are failed now because they showed up like 2 minutes late for the final exam, and the professor says you cannot take it since you were 2 minutes late.
Oh yeah, for us there was a policy. If you're, I think 10, it was 10 minutes for my history class, and it was 15 minutes for my marketing class. But that is when they locked the doors.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me, but like 2 minutes? All
Yeah,
right.
2 minutes is a lot.
I'm like, if you show up 22 minutes late for a 30-minute appointment, you're rescheduling. I'm not doing any casting in 8 minutes.
They just randomly guess on every A, B, D, 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 Z. E. There's no E.
There was a point in one of my physics exams where I was doing that, and I got a lot of them right, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to take any credit for this. I practically guessed at about a third of this,
So you just say the universe spoke to me.
apparently.
I'm pretty sure they're just
So I'm showing Michelle the TV show Parks and Rec.
Oh, yeah, classic.
And in it, when one of the characters, Andy Dwyer, goes back to community college and he goes to a laser class, and he's like, "So when do we get to fire the lasers?"
oh no.
And they're like, "No, we just studied the principles of it." I was like, "That feels exactly like my physics class." I thought it was gonna be cool explosions and stuff, but no, it was all theory.
Explosions. Yeah.
But at least I only have one more general ed class to take,
Nice.
and then it's just my major requirements, my upper division.
Okay, rescued your butt person.
Next semester, I'll be taking cost accounting, which I heard is really difficult.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I am hoping that it works out okay.
Is it like calculating the cost of things? Or
I,
what is
I,
it?
I don't know. Everybody was just so terrified and they wouldn't want to talk about it. And I was like, but you're not helping me.
It's like, come on. I need a little bit more descriptors than chattering of teeth.
Right. And they're like, you'll find out. You'll find out. And I was like, no, no, I would like an informed opinion.
Yeah. I've come to the conclusion that when people say you'll find out, there's two conclusions. One, they're lying to you and it's in a really easy class, or two, it's just that bad that just
I was like, no,
kind of
no, I
erases
would
it
like
from
an
their
informed
brain.
opinion. Michelle might find this cute. I found some watermelon themed swimwear on sale for only $10. Oh wow. I cannot help but pick it up. It's pretty cute. Definitely fits summer. Aww. And you got a great deal on it. That would be the Michelle part. I got it. I got it on sale. $10 is very good.
Yeah, for how a lot of things cost these days, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, even like 6 years ago, $10 would have been still a pretty good price, I think. What do I know?
How's your training, Cranberry? Ah, so many explosions.
Convergence.
I swear, I'm really aggressive as a at this deer.
Training going well, but easing up right now so I don't wear myself out before a major trek. That's a good idea. I'm glad. How did your oh no yeah, how did your Dragon Quest thing go? Wasn't that today? I'm running on empty though. I'm gonna go to bed. I got nothing left in the tank. Completely understandable. I know Michelle's about to go to bed too.
Mittens, no. No.
Mittens, yes. The event was a little small, but fun for those that came. Oh, that's really cool. I do like seeing that you guys are still doing those. It's a good idea for community. Well, if you're gonna get some rest, Cranberry, I completely understand. You have a big day coming up on Sunday.
Zoja needs some healing.
Best of luck. I look forward to the pictures. I need to post some pictures of our dinner over at Mission Viejo Lake. And I took some cookie photos. So now that we're on camera, Shun, what are your ideas for the next expansion?
For the next one, let me see.
What do you think is going to be coming up? What would you like to come up?
There's a couple different things I would like to come up because right now we're going to be going into the inner city next. It sounds like.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
And
Well, just sue me,
then-
Cranberry. Have a good night.
So that means for the next expansion, if they continue along and just as the way it's going, we could be seeing maybe more of a mist-related one potentially. Next expansion, we could also, I would say, maybe even who knows, maybe they'll surprise us when we go to what was the nickname of the canceled project?
Oh, Utopia.
Utopia. Who knows? Maybe they might bring something up like that. Um,
That would be very cool.
and then also, they could even surprise us and go a completely different route and just go somewhere that isn't even tied to it at all, and just say, "Hey,
You mean kind of like
we're going to
kind of like an event for like Malik, an entire expansion around the other tree?
We would.
Who knows? Maybe.
That makes me feel like they're going to miss their opportunity in 4 days.
What, Michelle?
Yeah, because
Michelle?
I said, what it makes me feel, hearing that makes me think that they're going to miss their opportunity in 4 days of not announcing anything.
No, like so they're gonna first announce the final part of the Janthir Wilds.
Okay.
And that is probably gonna be this Tuesday. And then after that, I think they're gonna give it some room to breathe. And then they're probably gonna announce the next expansion probably in 2 weeks or 4 weeks. Not too sure. They're gonna start laying down the groundwork because I think it's supposed to be released at the end of this year.
Yes. So normally they do it the next expansions, and we're trying to keep it in the window of the original release.
Yeah, I think it was originally supposed to be August, right?
So I think it's been delayed.
Right
a little
to
bit.
December.
So my guess is that once the new story portion comes out, they will give us a month or two just to finish up the story and to enjoy it and not be distracted. And then after that, then they'll probably start dripping and releasing slowly certain aspects or hints to the other stuff, or have you looking for clues potentially in the game if they have any clues that they put in the game itself. itself.
I think they're just going to do a traditional advertising model, like a teaser,
I
announcements.
bet that's what they'll do.
I don't think they're going to bother with like teasers. I would be surprised if they did. That would be cool, but I just don't think that they have the effort, time, or
They're
the
not
wishes for that.
established enough in this model yet for anything like that.
Right. Even though they should be. This is going to be their third one.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go next, and in general, just see how this portion of the story is going to conclude, and we'll also see if people will like the conclusion better than the conclusion of Soto.
Well, ArenaNet has always had, well, usually it's had an issue with sticking the landing.
Yes.
They do great lead ups, they do good character dialogues. It's just their landings are so bad, and they usually release them in living story aspects where they would kind of try to make it up. But here they don't have a living story, and these extra little parts. I, I don't know. They've been interesting, but they always feel like we're alpha testing. You know?
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out how this new model's going to work for them. And I'm hoping that they'll have it figured out this time, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Because let's be honest, Soto, the end of Soto, was supposed to be like all or nothing. It's a big battle, huge battle, and then it was just anticlimactic and wasn't as big as that you thought. It just didn't feel big. It didn't feel as large as it should have been.
Well, also they didn't really follow up on it. Like it seemed like that was going to be our next few stories for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, and then also the final meta fight is such a pain to get to it that I've only ever done it like 3 times.
The JC one? No, I'm
Essentially,
sorry. Not JC. I'm down.
Inner mayonnaise.
I know what you're talking. The whole spider thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's such a
It's like
pain
a
because you have to
whole-
finish the other metas first, and then
Exactly.
and so a lot of people just don't have the will or the dedication to do it.
Yeah.
So I honestly haven't really done it very much.
I may have done the full thing once,
Yeah,
but it's. I don't know if I have done it from
it's
start to finish or just
the
managed to
worst
catch it.
replayability meta that I think that they've ever made.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because most of their metas are awesome and very replayable. Because even the was it Dragon Stand?
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes like an hour and a half to do, but at least it feels satisfying to do and a lot of loot and it flows well and get the 3 paths going. And that's why that one still to this day people are successfully doing that one.
Yes,
But-
some guilds actually run that on the regular.
Yeah. we get it done in like a half hour.
Some people train to specifically help out with those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing though is that map was originally supposed to have a 4th path.
Yes, the Nightmare Court.
I know.
But, you know, I guess there's just not a popular faction. So, I guess why cater to a small audience?
You don't
I'd
know
say
where
I'd say
the
it's not.
nightmare courtiers went.
Yeah.
They just didn't expand on them as well as they should.
I know.
And I kept telling Wins the entire time I was playing Janthir Wilds. Well, no. The entire time I was playing Soto. I was like, dude, these Cryptus feel like they should have been the Nightmare Court.
Yeah.
Like, all of this feels like it should have been the Nightmare.
Well, I think what would have been fun too is for you to find one of the trees in Nayos.
I think that's what I was saying is that what if this was the dream where the shadow of the dragon came from, where the Nightmare Court was stepping into?
And I mean, it looked like at some point maybe they had. I mean, they even called it the nightmare and the dream, and it was so frustrating.
Yeah, just missed opportunities, you know.
Yep. And I think that some of that comes from rushing too. You know.
Well, rushing, and then also I think a lot of the originals the people that were there, like for Guild Wars 1. Most of those
Yeah.
people are gone. A lot of the original people for Guild Wars 2 at the very beginning are gone. So a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
it is people that just aren't as familiar with the lore, and so they're just. I feel like in some cases they're floundering a bit and trying to
Yeah.
create their own completely new lore in some cases,
But if you don't
while
have your
trying
own,
to.
but if you don't have your own, but if you don't have your own in-house wiki, there's a public wiki that people have built. Like you can look up and do your own research. Like
But
people,
Guild Wars 2 is one of those stories that is so well. I mean, Guild Wars, the universe, is it's got so much lore in it that there's so much they could do, but they just missing the
but you,
ball.
but you
A lot
figure
of
like
times.
as an interview for a writer, it's, hey, what do you know? What is related to this? Like I want you to be original and yes, do your own thing, but also how does that integrate with what we currently have?
Yeah, because I, as a player of nearly 14 years of Guild Wars 2, and the lore I know from Guild Wars 1, in some cases feel like I could do better story wise and tying things
Yep.
together than some of their writing team, and I don't even do that as a career.
Right. Well, it's also, hey guys, would you play your own game?
Yeah.
That would help.
I honestly feel like I don't see as many ArenaNet people as I
There
used to.
used to be. Yeah. I mean,
So
occasionally.
right for festivals or events, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
but not
I
casually.
I've been
I
very
have seen some
very
of
lucky.
Janthir.
I'll be honest. I've been very lucky because um, I'm friends with Ian, um, and so I've been able to play a lot of the game modes with ArenaNet devs and get a lot of those secret hidden achievements. Do this game
Right.
mode with the ArenaNet and all that stuff. But even then, even with that access, I feel like I don't see them hardly ever anymore. You know,
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. It's just weird because the game has so much going for it right now, and it has so much potential. But at the same time, it also feels like the devs are just slowing down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's trying to manage cost efficiency, you know?
Which is funny though because it's one of NCSoft's one of their few profitable games.
I know. But then that's part of the problem. I don't like NC Soft.
No,
I've
me either.
seen what they do to games, and yeah, so I can see what probably happens is that things are going along on a good pace and everything, but they want it now. Doesn't matter if it's ready yet or not. If you have
Yeah,
all your stuff, no, it needs to go out now.
Sounds
And
like
that's where you kind of see the stuff at the end. I think is like, well, it wasn't ready yet. If we'd had another month,
but
yeah.
also it's,
No, I
hey
think that's
man,
one of
manage your time.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I
Like,
also think though it's one of the. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Finish what
well,
you're saying.
I was gonna say, like I understand. It sucks when you're rushed, for sure, and maybe taking your time in some things would be cool. But also, they're just at fault as much as fault for not managing their time appropriately.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just I don't know, and it's hard to say too because who knows what projects and other things that they're being directed to do in it because I have
Right.
no true insight um, into their day-to-day workings, and if I did, I'd probably be NDA'd and all that other stuff. But
yeah.
um,
This is
because
where Shun would tell everyone, by the way.
I know. And we kind of saw some of that going on with Ice Breed Saga because we knew they
Ooh.
had two of the games they were working on at the time. I mean,
yep,
they blamed it on COVID, but COVID was only part of the problem. They had two other games they were working on at the time, which then failed to go forward. So that's when all of a sudden they wanted End of Dragons going.
Right, they needed to make money.
well,
Yeah,
and I think Icebrood Saga is also one of those good examples of kind of what we were talking about a moment ago, where they start great and then they don't stick the landing. It's like, okay, how do
oh,
we
I
have
know.
great writing and great storytelling for the first part, and then suddenly it just peters out at the end.
Well, but at least in this case, like Wins is right. Like they had some of their developers, programmers, some of the team members were transferred to other projects. And so, ta-da! This is what happens when you have a skeleton crew left.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, and
And then it got
unfortunately,
rushed on top of everything because now they want to just hurry you up and get to, push into dragons because the ones that were going to make their money did they weren't going to happen, so they wanted the money.
yeah,
And I can see NC Soft especially. I mean, I almost didn't start playing this game because I had come from a game that was an NC Soft game, and I was like, oh God, not them again.
yeah.
What's up, Michelle?
Like,
Have a good night, Michelle. Thank you for jumping on.
Night, Michelle.
Which NC Soft was it? Was it Wildstar or was it?
Aeon, however you say it.
Oh yeah, Aeon. Yep, that one.
Again, a great idea that they just dropped the ball on.
Yep.
Yeah. No, one that, and this was an NC Soft, but one that a game I loved but also hated at the same time was Arcage. Oh, I loved Arcage. They had so many cool things in it, and but then the PvP and the pirating and all that stuff, and it was just, and hackers. It was just there was no true counter to fear, so they would just fear you off your boats and then steal everything. It just drove me nuts because a large way of making money and crafting the higher level gear was you had to do sailing across the ocean. And so if you weren't in a giant mercantile guild, then you weren't going to survive. And yeah, or paying exuberant prices for protection, people going across, and yeah, and just for them to sometimes backstab you and steal your stuff anyways. But
Yep.
I liked their land system there. I liked how you could plant stuff anywhere and everywhere, and if it wasn't on your land, then other people could uproot your stuff or harvest it before you if you weren't there in time. And so people tried hiding their farms in the mountains, and then people would find out how to get to them, and we labeled them illegal farms. And good time. Oh yeah, good time. And then it's hard though because with it being, I think it was a Korean company as well for that. There's very much the pay to win aspect of it, and then that's very much in Asian culture. Like, okay, just pay money. And
Ion was really bad about that.
Yeah, and
I mean, like
Soft
trying
being a
to
Korean company,
upgrade your gear was a nightmare. It was you needed things that were difficult to get, or you had to buy, and then it was still, or even if you bought whatever, I forget what runes or not runes, but whatever their little
like
system was.
gems or something.
Yeah. And even if you bought it, it was still RNG on whether or not it would succeed in melding to the item.
Yep, that's a very Korean system. It's in so many Korean games because it was even in Arcade for that system where, okay, well, once you got to a certain point of crafting gear, weapons, armor, okay, well, now you need this special gem that you had to either grind like crazy and it's very high risk and it'll take a long time to get. And then, or you could just drop $10 and you get 10 of them. And then, oh, well, once you hit this one, well, you got a 90% chance of it being successful. And then you have a 2% chance that the weapon is completely destroyed. Or and it was successful there, and then you go to the next one. Well, this time it's an 80% chance, and it takes more gems to do it. And now it's a 4% chance that it breaks, not a 2% anymore. And then when it gets to the highest tier stuff, oh, it's a 2% chance of successfully being made. There's a 50% chance of it being downgraded to the level below, and then there's a 20% chance that the weapon gets destroyed. And then that's why people then start paying hundreds of dollars for people that successfully made those weapons, and then thousands of dollars, and then it became pay to win, and then you had to drop thousands of dollars on the gems just to be able to. Well, if you buy this special gem that you can only get on the cash market, well, this one increases your chance of it not breaking by 2%. And if you
That's
buy
exactly what
enough
Ion
of
did.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, and if you buy enough of the gems, you can mitigate it almost to zero, but not completely to zero.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
that's a very
exactly what they did.
yeah, that's unfortunately a very Korean style of system, and they make so much money off of it.
Oh, sure. And then,
Mm,
of course, Ion, I don't know about the other game, but Ion was, it was pretty much purely PvP. And
yeah,
honestly, I don't normally enjoy PvP, but I liked that game. It was fun. You had aerial combat and all sorts of stuff going on. It was really neat, except for that.
yeah. The pay to win aspect of, oh, you
Yep.
want the best gear, you're gonna drop $10,000. If you're lucky, 10,000.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, brings a
And
whole
then
new meaning to Wales.
and then of course that encouraged the the gold farmers and or whatever I forget whatever, it's been a while, but
Yeah,
the ones grinding the for a profit and bots and all that stuff. I used to log on and spend the first 20 minutes blocking all the whispers and stuff trying to sell me, for real money,
yep,
sell me the stuff. And so after about 20 minutes, it'd be quiet for about 2 hours, but then they would cycle through again. It was a whole new
yep,
bunch because,
new
it's just
badge.
character A, B, K, X, Y.
Yep.
They didn't care,
That's my favorite friend.
right? And you could, there wasn't even a method to report. It was like they
No,
didn't care.
no, because it's so prevalent in the system and all that stuff that at that point, even with the gold sellers, the company's still making a lot of money
Oh,
off
yeah.
of the sales. So it doesn't really cut into their quota because some things you just couldn't get if you didn't pay real money for from their
Yep.
store because so it doesn't affect them that you got a bunch of gold because that gold all it does is X Y but not Z and Z is what you really
Yep.
need.
And I mean, it didn't matter really how much gold you had anyway because the prices were so inflated by all of that.
Oh
So
yes,
it was just,
that's kind of how WoW got for a while if I remember
oh
correctly from
yeah, I
a
bet.
friend.
I know
And
even
Dang
that's
it.
Lord of the Rings Online got that way for a while, and they kind of did some stuff that kind of fixed some of the gold sink stuff.
yeah, and that's one of the things that
So
I
Janthir,
like about Guild
con-
Wars 2.
Janthir Convergence is in an hour, less than an hour about. Just as a
I
heads up.
probably won't make it to that one,
No worries. No worries.
but um,
I
but
can look
real
up there.
fast. That's one of the things I liked about Guild Wars 2 is that one gold sellers they tried they don't thrive here at all,
Yeah,
and then um, and then with the whole money sink thing, certainly there's ectos and there's certain things like that, but even then it's a lot. The market's pretty stable. It doesn't usually
it
go wild.
Right.
And then, and when it comes to legendaries, I honestly feel like if you were to just buy straight a legendary, the price is a reasonable amount. It's not in the tens of thousands of gold like some games would be. It's
right.
1,500 on average, I'd say. And then for the ones that take more work, it's more. But at the same time, ArenaNet has done a great job at making legendaries are end game, but we're making it a little bit more accessible by eventually making it so that you could remove the RNG of precursors. Now you can craft them. It takes effort, it takes time, but in these cases, you're at least guaranteed a precursor so that you could make it so that you didn't have to go with the luck of a drop or luck of the
Right.
mystic toilet.
Right.
And then that then also saved them because they used to be even for the Warhorn 600 gold, and now for the Warhorn it's like 70 gold,
Oh,
just
geez.
for the precursor, and it made it more accessible for people, but it still takes the effort and the grind to make it. And then
Yeah,
with the Wizard's Vault, well, you got the legendary thing, so it takes a little bit of work. It costs 1,000 points, but that's doable. And then once you get it, it gives you pretty much half of what you needed. It gives you the precursor right then and there. it gives you one of the gifts, and then you can either craft the other gift or wait until the next season and get the other one. And then all you have to do left is a little bit of grinding, and then they made it so that you still need to do 100% map completion, which I think is it's wise of them to do, because then you still have to play the game, and then you got a legendary, much more accessible. And
That's where I got my first legendary was Twilight, because I got it from the Wizard's Vault, and I had already opened the previous month at something that I didn't really care to get, but I had one of the gifts, and then then I got the other gift, and I already had pretty much everything I needed. I already had the been there, done that.
yeah,
So I was able to just, oh look, I've got a legendary now.
yeah. And the funny thing is that this is also coming from someone, me, who crafted like 40 to 60 legendaries before this system came out. And
Right.
some people would be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you made it easier. It's so late. I wasted all that time. To me, I'm like, I'm really glad that they did this, because honestly, most of the legendaries I made, I did for guild events and just to give away. And it was just kind of the fun thing I did was to craft them. That's why I still craft them to this day, even though I really have all the weapons I would ever need. But I, as a whole, find that making it more accessible and easier is still not the easiest, but easier. It was a healthy move for the community as a whole.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I never bothered making legendaries before I got that first one.
Yeah,
And then I had been kind of working on the one from doing the return to stuff. So there was my second within a month, because I was like, I may as well finish that up. And Nevermore took a little bit longer, because I had to then, acquire materials again. But then I got Nevermore. It's like, I guess I'm on the legendary grind, aren't I?
so you want what's funny? You want to know what started my drive and obsession with and also my enjoyment of crafting legendaries?
What's that?
So it was actually Ascalon Catacombs. So back in year one, reaching year two, used to have elitist groups that would post in there saying "Leggies only." So if you didn't
I
have that
remember.
Oh
and
my
you didn't have
God.
and you didn't have it, you would be instantly kicked. And so I'm all like, well, I'm going to grind as fast as possible and make eternity, and I'm going to show all of you up, and I'm going to run groups. No legendaries are allowed, and then if someone shows up, I'd flash eternity and said, "Get out." And then I made it and that's why I've run Ascalon thousands of time training new players, just because of those elitists.
Right.
And so that's the funny journey of my legendary obsession. And that's why I'm perfectly fine with them becoming more accessible, because I'm
Yeah.
already was sticking it to those um, snobs,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
those gatekeepers. My goodness,
So that's
I
nine
just,
of them.
just I'm like, I never truly understand it. I get it, you like flashing your hard work and saying, "Look what I've got,"
Right.
but
Yeah.
you can do that and not be a dick. You can do that and be like, and not be the gatekeeper, because what people don't seem to understand is that games that are just full of gatekeepers are no longer on the internet. They
Yeah.
die because
I mean,
it's not fun, and people um, don't want to do it, because then they're stuck with all these gatekeepers that won't let them do the content, and if they can't do the content, then they can't progress, and then the people that gatekeep won't have more people to do the content with, because they're not teaching people how to do it. So the game then dies, because then it's
yeah.
just the occasional people that spent $200 million to become the shiniest one and get just to gatekeep the game out of oblivion for them to go to another game and spend $200 more million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, and that's why I love how thorough the wiki is for
Oh
Guild
yeah.
Wars 2. The Guild Wars 2 wiki is the gold standard. It really is. And I truly believe that that helps significantly with people being able to be that trainer, because then they can be like, okay, well, I did this a long time ago and I'm willing to help you, so let's look at the wiki. And then from there, you just blaze right through it.
I also love how it's integrated into the game itself.
Mm-hmm. A very wise move on their part.
Because you're right, a lot of games do not have that.
Yeah, and it really helps with the longevity of the game, because as you are going through areas that are less played, and there's less people in that chat that are experienced in that map, because if there's someone experienced, then I'd say about 80% of the time, someone will reply back to you and they will help you.
Right.
In Guild Wars 2. But as those maps become less populated and people want to get certain achievements or certain gear, the wiki fills that 20%. And honestly, it fills the whole 100%. And but it just fills that 20% when there's the 80% that aren't there to answer. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps a person learn more about the game.
Yes, and then I think the other thing too is it also helps them to get more into the lore, because there are people that explore and they love to find the lore in the game. There's people that love to explore and see how great the game looks, and then there's people that blaze through it as fast as possible to get to the end game. And sometimes I think the way that those people get involved with the lore most is when they read the wiki and then they're like, oh wow, I didn't even notice that, instead of realizing that, hey, that was in the game for you to see, but you kind of blaze through it a bit. And then and I'd say in many cases the wiki, for just trying to help someone get an achievement, then makes them go down the rabbit hole of, wow, this is actually a really good story.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, I've been guilty of before of just blazing through content and then they come back later and I'm going, I don't remember any of this.
Or even worse, man, there's only 5 minutes of content.
Yeah.
Right.
This update sucks.
Yeah, I know, and they don't
There's always
realize
somebody that's like that.
I know, it's like, okay, well, it was very lore rich and there was a lot of cool dynamic events, but you didn't do the dynamic events, you just did the story and you blazed through it, so you missed out on a lot of the content.
What you mean is
Yep.
too easy.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I thought I had. I gotta look and see. Legendary weapon. Did I not get the adversaries? I thought I did.
Not the adversaries.
Memory of Bearkin's adversaries.
That sounds like a convergence.
No, it's for doing 6 world bosses or meta events, and I could have sworn I got it from just doing, Heart of Thorns stuff.
No, how many does it say you still need to do?
6.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, I could have put it on a different character. I might have to look. That's why I'm looking, because
Is it something that
memory of it says that I had it. So where did I put it?
Oh, okay. So it's a repeatable one, is what you're saying?
Maybe, but I mean, it's an achievement that you get doing, and while you need it for the spear, and then it gives you. Can I click in here?
What's it called again, the achievement?
It's part of the legendary spear thing. Let me see. Memory of Bearkin's adversaries. Is that the name of it? It says legendary weapon, Globdarnir gifts, and then world boss or meta event completions. So I've deleted it, and I wouldn't have used it on anything else. So where did I put it?
Do you have
Where-
efficiency?
no, I should. Well, I did at one point, but now
Yeah, because if you have efficiency, the nice thing with that is that you can type in the item, and then it'll
and find
show
what
you which
character.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, I may have to.
It's not a bad website. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
You know, it just strokes your ego when you see how much gold it says you're worth.
Top 5%, bruh.
You are nice.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
job.
really? Well, I guess yeah, with all your legendaries, yeah.
Well, it's not just that, but it's also like the Black Lion keys that I got and opening up and unlocking like.
They do show the gem market items on that, so that
Yeah.
does influence the score a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
If you give me
because
a second, I'll
that's the
check it out.
main aspect right there.
Well,
Is Fashion Wars.
I mean, like if you care, but nobody else like cares or even looks at it.
I
Yeah.
haven't looked in a while. Let's see what I'm at. I always love when it like goes up and then just drops.
Yeah, because you just spent a ton.
No. Well, spend a ton, or an update came out that just tanked the price of something because it becomes worthless because now it's
Right.
easier to get or something like that. Where is it? Do I have it open?
Just guildwars2efficiency.com. Not sponsored, guys. I realize I have to say that in front of like anything that could be making money or that people could construe as me being sponsored by.
Yeah.
And it's not that I wouldn't be wouldn't be happy to be sponsored by them. I'm just not sponsored by them. I'm generally just saying this because I actually use it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I love when on my chart it says over the course of 2 days it goes from your account being worth 394,000 to being worth 361,000, and then it goes right back up. I'm like, what caused the 20,000 gold dip?
The tariff, sir.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what it is.
Let me see here.
So
Account.
I'm in 2%, so I'm ranked 5,798
5,000. Wow.
out of 441,000.
So you're in the top 2%. I'm in the top 5%.
The important thing to realize too, though, is this is only for people that have made an efficiency account.
Right. Do you know that if I exclude, so my account value is 219,000. But if I exclude the gem store items, it's down to 84,000.
How do you exclude?
No, it's right underneath it. If you go to your account and then your account value, go to your account overview.
Yep, I'm there.
And so it shows your account value, and then underneath it, it's smaller. It says excluding gem store items.
Excluding gems. Oh, wait, no, actually, no, that's not it.
Let me see if I can take a picture of it for you.
Blind.
Let's see if I have an account.
I'm posting it on our channel. There you go. So if you look at your account overview, underneath account value, I posted it on the guild Discord.
Oh yeah, it's right underneath that. Okay, excluding. So is it saying? So it's saying that's how much your account's worth, or
That's how much my account is worth if I exclude gem store items.
Okay, or is it trying to say that that's how much your gem store items is worth is 84,000?
No.
Okay, so how do you do the how do you link it?
I think you need the API for it.
Where do you get that from?
Oh man,
Guild Wars 2 on the online portion of it. So when you go to guildwars2.com, so when you do that, and then you go to your account option on there. Let me sign into this. I haven't signed in this moment. And then when you're in the account overview, there is under, let's see,
Yay!
applications. Under applications, and there's an API key that you can generate and use.
Okay.
Thank you for the walkthrough, Shun. I'm trying to go fishing and I forgot this little mini game that could be annoying sometimes.
Especially when you don't have the right bait.
Yeah, it just reminds me a lot of like an Atari game.
Yeah. Can you imagine if they came out with a bait you can buy that just goes for every fish? I bet everyone would buy that.
Yeah, cheap way to make money.
To use.
Yeah, what NC Soft, where are you?
Yeah, and then because they already got, do they have? I think they have a fishing hook that doesn't break that you can buy.
I couldn't remember my password. It's like, dang. Okay, so
Yes. Yeah.
API key management, API key.
My God, this effing fish.
The other thing I like too about the efficiency
Uh-huh.
is I can go there and see when the next birthdays are for my 30 characters, and then I can be like, all right, log on to this one and get the present. Instead of every once in a while just logging into all of them one after the other. And I also like looking at my characters and saying, oh, I can tell which one's my favorite because this one has so much gold worth of gear on them. Like my warrior I run around with is wearing 3,782 worth of gold. And then I've got one that's called Revan Blade Master, and he's only worth 57 silver. Never play him, you can tell from that. Funny enough, he's the only character that doesn't have 1 gold worth of gear on him. That's kind of
I think my most expensive character. Let me see here. Wow, it's not the one I would have assumed. You know, my human elementalist wins.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, no, never mind, never mind. No, my main character, my necromancer, just by a little bit, 2,691 gold
nice.
worth of stuff.
Okay, so now.
But I don't really play him too much anymore.
Let's see. My warrior has 3,754 deaths.
I'm worth 1,618 gold.
1,618 gold.
Yeah.
The whole
That's
account?
Oh no, the whole account. I'm not. That says liquid gold.
Okay.
Account value 52,320.
there. You go. That's more like it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, I don't know if that's a correct number.
Yeah, no, I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah. Okay, so my inventory.
Give me a heart attack there. I'm like, I need to donate more gold to you.
I know, right?
Go buy yourself something nice.
Let me see. Where's my
Oh, gosh.
crafting, gathering, inventory? That's shared inventory. That doesn't help. Characters.
Yay!
I'm just here.
Something attacking me? There is something attacking me.
No, what I think is funny though with Guild Wars 2
Um.
is that I like how it's not a pay to win aspect in the sense that the most expensive items in the game to get are ones that only give you a extremely marginal boost,
Oh
and
yeah,
that there
I
are
love that.
also cheap ways of getting the exact same boost without the fancy effects, and making it so that you can get that extra little boost, but you're just not going to be as shiny and fancy as those one. It's just a
Exactly.
pure fashion war sense, you know. Oh well, you could pay 10,000 gold for that infusion, or you could get 20 infusions to fully gear yourself for 1,000 gold, and you know it's like much more affordable than that one for 10,000. And at that point, it just becomes, I want that look, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
It made me laugh when Michelle's brother was like, Eric told me not to spend any money in this game. No, sir. I told you that there's nothing you need to buy to pay to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, because essentially most things are convenience. Like, oh well, it sucks that you start out with one bank.
But I,
That
right. But I think I'm gonna tell him the same thing of, hey, look, you could buy extra bags or better bags.
yeah, because you could have bank characters if you wanted to, or you could be crazy like me and have 18 bank tabs unlocked and have max storage unlocked and have paid that money. But it's was worth it for me because I started from day one, and
Same here. I enjoyed investing some of the stuff in it, like some of the outfits I really enjoyed. But
yeah.
I mean, I also bought like bank tabs, item expansion slot.
And the other thing I like too is that from generating gold passively, let's say you play fractals and you have nothing on the Black Lion market that you buy from the players with gold that you want, well, then you can trade those in for gems if you want, and then you can get those infinite use tools from purely playing the game. You could get
Yes,
that outfit purely playing the game and things like that. So I do like how that was a thing. But it also made a funny conundrum for gold sellers because essentially the number one gold seller is ArenaNet.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
ArenaNet and other players technically, because
Yeah.
they are selling their gems technically to other players, and ArenaNet's taking their gold cut or their
Yep.
um, and then the market actually fluctuates price wise based off of supply and demand generated by what people are buying with their money, gems, and what they're selling for gold. So it's a unique system.
It's a very interesting system, and I do like it a lot.
Yeah, helps get rid of all those gold spammers.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
Even,
There's really no point for them to be here.
Yeah.
even though I'm sure you missed them wins.
Oh, just so much. I don't know what to do with the first 20 minutes of logging on.
Oh, yeah. What a journey.
Yeah, no, it's a fun game, and I really do look forward to seeing where it's going to go. I think it's an
Yeah.
exciting time. The PvP push thing was weird, but I also don't think it's like, oh my god, unplayable. Like I enjoyed it for as frustrating as it was sometimes. For as much as everybody was trying to figure it out, I think it was a lot of fun. Um, I enjoyed playing a guardian on it to give everyone buffs.
Yeah. I think it is gonna change the dynamics of what you play in PvP for that game mode. So it's gonna be interesting to see what builds and what people do.
Oh yeah, you're going to see a lot more
Get more
AOE's.
used to it.
You're going to see a lot more necros. You're going to see a lot more. Uh, who else has a lot of AOE? I I,
Love it.
I guess ritualists, revenants.
Yeah, Revenants is it. Yeah. No, this is how I see it. I'm like, I hope that the expansions continue and do a great job at generating interest and activity and a great story to continue forward. And I honestly wouldn't mind eventually in the future there being a Guild Wars 3. I really want it.
They've already approved it. NCSoft already approved it, and they're already working on it in the background.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just saying, I don't mind that that's a thing. You know?
I am
I look
curious, like,
as long as you do it right.
where does it still take place in Tyria?
Cool.
Do they do another time jump event?
You know where that piece went that I was looking for? I used it to create the precursor. Joy.
That's right. Um, but
I
just
knew
like how they attach Guild Wars 1 with Guild Wars 2 with the Hall of Monuments, I hope they do a very robust job with Guild Wars 2 to Guild Wars 3, depending on how they go. And the nice thing is, I expect they'll have homesteads at possibly day one with Guild Wars 3, because it's already proven to be a very good system in Guild Wars 2.
I
And
wish they
then,
would do more with it. You know,
Well, hopefully they will.
I hope so too, because I would love to see more locations.
one
I
of the
would love
things
to
I've
see.
always been very negative about ArenaNet is that they just don't follow through on a lot of their stuff. There's so
Yeah.
much dropped content.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would love a mansion or a home in Divinity's Reach, or there's a section of unused land to the side of it. Maybe make that where you see the city right there. You're on the outside wall, and that's a new homestead right there.
Or you know what? If you're a human, and since it's available now, how about a mansion in Beetlestone?
Yeah. You become the new. Make it so somewhere in the expansion you did something, and now you're a noble if you're a human,
Right.
or kind of something similar for each faction in a way, because they all technically kind of have areas near them that they can utilize. And then I would love some land in Ebonhawk. I would love um, maybe a completely new place that I didn't even think of. I
I
would love
I would
my
love
own
I would love
fortress.
I would love as a human to be able to buy homes in Ascalon.
Yeah, and then kind of I think it make a unique story like how Guild Halls was, where you go through and you're clearing out the ghosts, and then you're kind of clearing out the debris, and then you get to make your place there, or you could use the existing ruins to build off of that. I would love a homestead that would be like Vigil Keep, like you have your own little keep on the side of a mountain or something like that, you know?
What were you
Are
gonna
we
say,
missing
Vince?
are we missing our convergence?
No, 11 o'clock. So in half hour.
Okay.
Yeah, 27 minutes. Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
we got time. We're good. We're good. Thank you.
Just making sure.
No, for sure.
yeah, but I would love for them to have more locations.
Same here.
And especially if they have a Guild Wars 3, I would love them to have day one multiple areas. And I'd love for them to keep most of the systems from Guild Wars 2, because the way, most of the things that we talked for the last half hour about, they're already really good systems. And then all they have to do is build upon the story of Guild Wars 2/3, and I think it will sell, because this is already proven to be a very good game as it is. And then if they wanted to upgrade the graphics, they could. It would just make it a little less accessible to the market, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I look forward to it. I hope it works out really well. Um, I I don't know what they're gonna do, and I'm a little
Yeah,
worried that they're just gonna try to recreate the wheel, because that's what
yeah,
they're in the habit of doing. Like, I get that they're trying to innovate,
yeah,
but you're wasting so much time and money and resources on something that was already there. Like, you did a good
well,
job with it.
my fears too is that I would love to have like a heritage system or something where you do something and then you can unlock a large percentage of ascended or special weapons that you got here, and maybe not make it so that they're legendary, but you at least have the looks of them, or you can hang them in your homes or stuff like that, and have an actual story that goes with it. Um, and then also, uh, my worry as well would be, because they still have Guild Wars 1 running, but that's a very, very low server cost game to still run in this day and age. So if we ever got a Guild Wars 3, would they stop supporting Guild Wars 1? And would it be something that had to go to the public domain and have someone do private servers or something like that? Would they still
That'd be sad.
Yeah, and would they still maintain Guild Wars 2 for you to play as? Because Guild Wars 2 is a more intensive server-based game. Because they would look at their costs and say, well, now that we have Guild Wars 3, maybe we just shut down Guild Wars 2 because it wasn't like Guild Wars 1 was, where it's really easy to keep it running on auto. Because unfortunately, Guild Wars 2 will take more assets and more hardware to maintain and run. So at Guild Wars 3, that's the one downside, could potentially mean the shutdown of Guild Wars 2.
I would hate to see that.
Same here, but I also understand why it would have to be the case, and I think they would just phase it out. I think they'd be like, we're going to keep it going for about 2 years, and then it's just not going to be feasible after that.
Yeah, and I think that if they did a way to somehow integrate your progress in Guild Wars 2 in a meaningful, well thought out way into Guild Wars 3, I think people as a whole would be more for it, because you want to have something to show for all the thousands of hours and the progress and all the fun you've had.
So that, I'm not sure. You're talking about like a Hall of Monuments type of thing, right?
Something similar to a Hall of Monuments, but more personalized.
Like, I think that would be on the table, but I don't think they're going to really do it like they did it in Guild Wars 1 and 2. Because it's just...
I think that's a great idea.
They abandoned it. They walked away from it. It was too much work.
Yeah. And that's why I'm just like, okay.
I would like it. I enjoyed it a lot, and it got me really playing Guild Wars 1 a lot.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that's just like, okay, well, maybe make it less about achievements or something like that. I don't know.
Right?
It's the question is, what can you do? And I'd like to see some form of meaningful way, but we don't know yet what's going to happen in Guild Wars 3.
Yeah, so much is up in the air.
Mm-hmm. And then also, the question is, as well as, do they eventually separate from NCSoft?
I don't think so.
How would that affect it? I'm like, I don't think so either.
I don't think they can.
They have to have an offer from someone bigger and better to give NCSoft a big enough dollar amount to make it worth their while, and I don't really see them doing that.
I also don't think they're really looking right now.
No, I don't think so either. Because right now, this is one of the games making NCSoft money,
right?
And making a new MMO is expensive.
Oh, of course, and they want their return on investment.
Yeah. But it should be unique to see what happens in the future with Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 3. And as you said, I agree, phasing it out would be good. And then I just hope that it would be in a way that won't make it so that Guild Wars 2 just disappears into history.
Yeah.
Still see or remember, like, oh, I remember Guild Wars 2 when I went when you go to this location, you know, and then
that's sad. Like, I'm already getting sad just thinking about that.
I know. I mean, how many hours do I have in this game?
Right?
Well, I mean, like, just like how when we're doing Ascalon Catacombs earlier, how I explained how it got me into making the legendaries, and then how me and my friends used to use the novelty item to look like Quaggan, and we'd stand precariously on the edge of the ruins and world check, just go Q the whole time, just annoy people, and and it's just those memories that you're like, all right, well, most of those people don't play anymore, but I still remember. I'm still here, so yeah, it's just crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, a little sad.
Let's see, I've played across all characters 9,026 hours over the past 3,520 days.
Nice.
So chunk. I've played a while.
Yeah. No, I've played for the 13 years, but between school and other things, I actually have not the amount of hours you think I would.
Yeah, same here. Wait, does it tell you total amount of hours?
Yeah, it tells you how many you've played on the character, but then it also tells you how many hours total you've played.
Oh, give me a second. That's in Guild Wars, right?
Yeah, you can do /age.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Age.
Yeah, I want to see if you can guess how many hours I've played.
So for this character, I played 1,021 hours and 27 minutes over the past 4,654 days. But across all my characters, 5,122 hours, 44 minutes over the past 4,655 days.
Nice.
So I assume you're probably a little bit more than me because I took a bit of a break here and there.
But you're at
Yeah, I took a break
5,000,
5122.
and then you were at 9,000, something like that.
N-
And so,
Well-
across all characters, 9,026. Yes.
You're at 9,026?
yes.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's like twice.
And,
And-
with
that's
all
after
my-
taking
sorry,
breaks too.
Right, but I played from like day one. Wow.
Played since Heart of Thorns started.
Yeah, holy shit.
for all the for playing from day one, for taking for all the achievements, progress, legendaries, and everything I have, how many hours do you think I have?
I think you're in between us. I don't think you're at 9,000, but I also think you're more than 5,000. So I would assume 8,100, 8,100.
Okay, so that's the first guess. What's the other guess?
What do you think, Wins?
I don't know. He's probably pretty close to mine
Pick a number.
with all the stuff he's done. I don't know. I'm gonna go for the 9,000.
Okay. What do you got?
All right, so here's the surprise number for you. I have, for everything that I've done in the game, 5,606 hours.
Hey, we're close.
Wow, that's it? Oh my goodness.
5,000 what?
5,606.
5,122. We're off by 500.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, with everything you've done, I would have thought that it was more than that.
So technically, it probably should be more around like 10,000 hours, because I do a lot of research before I go into achievements and weapons and stuff. That's why I'm able to efficiently make gold in certain ways, because I do a lot of research.
Right.
So I probably have 4,000 hours outside of the game for the game. So
Okay.
otherwise, I would say I probably should be around 9,000. I just didn't do a lot of sitting around in the game while other things were happening. Now, a game that I probably have about... Oh, let me see. I want to make sure my brain calculating this right.
Wow. Walked right into that one. Sorry, I'm finding this Bard Veil over here. On the,
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the arena because why not? And then I was just casually walking into all of his circles. All of his circles.
Oops. Don't do that.
Right?
Especially when you don't have condition clearance.
What? That's silly.
So there's a game that I probably have about 25,000 hours in. Playing that game since I was 4 years old.
Minecraft?
No. Minecraft came out in 2010, 11, No, StarCraft.
StarCraft. You know, I never played that.
Oh, I love RTSs. So StarCraft and Age of Empires, both of those games, I've probably in the 20s of thousands of hours for
Uh,
those.
I have an embarrassing amount of hours on Civ 6.
That's a good game.
If you give me a second, I'll check that out. That one and Civ 5 I spent way too much time on. And I still waste a lot of time on it. It's my opium.
Yeah, I'll hear you.
What is this chest?
All I can say is I kind of hope that when I finally do die, I hope that there is some way of, if there's, afterwards, being like, how many hours did I spend on this screen?
Aww.
It's like, well, you have 452,000 hours of screen time or something like that. It's like, oh no, no wonder why I need glasses.
Right.
I literally burned my eyes out of my skull with blue light.
Oh, talking about games from childhood. Michelle and I were playing Sonic. It it was different. I realized that I had never played anything farther than the first stage.
Oh wow.
Um,
Yeah,
she got very good at it. That was Michelle's home turf. That was very clear.
yeah.
But it was good. We managed to beat it.
No, you know how obsessed I was with StarCraft as a child?
Hmm.
That when I didn't have access to it because my parents didn't have a computer to play it with, it was either at my uncle's, my cousin's place, and stuff like that I could play it, or some friends had it. I was so obsessed with it that I would pretend to build the RTS structures with Lincoln Logs and dominoes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then try to get my cousin to understand what the buildings were and say, "This is the siege tank. Attack!"
Give me a second. I'm gonna go on to Steam and embarrass myself with how many hours. Library. All right, let's look at Civ 5 first. Wait, where is Civ 5? Oh, it's under S for Sid Meier's Civilization.
Yep.
Uh,
22 hours.
that's how many you got?
No, I was.
Oh no. So my typical number is like 72 hours, 13 and a half hours, 120 hours. So maybe something like that, but no, here 1,359.1 hours.
Oh, okay, so not as high for 5 as I thought you were gonna have.
But Civ 6, let me see here. Doubled out, 2,246 hours.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, in Steam it says only 349 hours for Age of Empires 2, but that's for when it was on Steam. I played it before they even tracked the numbers. See,
I'm before numbers.
oh my goodness, RuneScape as well. I played that. Oh, so many hours before they tracked that.
Oh, there you go. Playtime. All right. So my number one is Civ 6 with 2,246.8. My second one is Civ 5 with 1,359. My third one is 233 hours.
How did you group that?
Okay. So if you go to your name and then you go to profile, if you go down to scroll down to view all recently played, let me know when you're there. Or just go to games. Go to your games.
Okay.
Your profile and then games.
Oh, yep, I see that.
And then on the right hand side, it's playtime. Well, the second tab is all games. And then next to the cog, there's playtime. And then just click on that.
Funny enough, the one I have the most playtime on Steam statistics is Valheim.
You know, I recently played that with my friends. because we had finished Core Keeper, and so they wanted to move on to Valheim. And in theory, I liked the idea of okay, what Viking mythology, because I love mythologies and stuff. But when I got into it, I was like, oh my god, these graphics are horrendous. These remind me of like PlayStation 1 graphics. And they're like, yeah, that's what makes it nostalgic.
Oh no.
And I was like, this is not I don't feel nostalgic. I never liked the 90s or 2000s.
Funny.
So yeah, this is not working for me. And then the fact that your mouse kind of controlled the camera made it difficult for me, started making me a bit nauseous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had to get used to it because I was just used to like the camera here in Guild Wars 2. And so we played it for a bit. I think we beat the first two bosses.
Oh, nice. So you defeated the Elder and the Elf.
Yes.
Sneak, sneak.
Mhm.
Eric, oh, like, sneak, sneak.
I look at Cookie and I say that to him, and he doesn't find it amusing.
I know. You're beating on me while I'm digging for stuff over here. Back off.
um, but I tried to like Valheim, and like really, I think it's the friends you play with that kind of made it a lot more tolerable. Like it's not a bad game. Like if you like survival games and you like Viking mythology, by all means, totally cool. If you're nostalgic about PlayStation 1 graphics, hey, it's an awesome game. Um, it just wasn't my favorite game.
Yeah.
Like I think I would grade it a 68.
Yeah, my nostalgia game is Battlefront. Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I remember that back in the PS2.
Yes, PS2.
Oh my god, that was so good.
PS2, PSP.
I loved it. I used to play with and against my friends all the time on that.
It was so good. And
Yeah.
the new ones that just couldn't capture the old game at all.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. But we switched over to V Rising, and that game was a lot more fun. Well, again, I'm not a big fan of medieval fantasy, so V Rising is kind of closer to steampunk. Like it's still medieval fantasy of sorts, but like the controls are better, the camera is better. It's a little bit more isometric looking. So I really liked it a lot. I'm really enjoying it a lot actually. We're playing it currently, at least until Dune comes out,
Nice.
and then we're gonna try to see Dune. I so my next contract wasn't supposed to be until about middle of July. So I thought my current contract would extend me through the end of June. And I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna take a 2 week vacation. No big deal. But since we did such a great job, um, we the contract was cut short 1 month.
Oh wow. Did you at least get a bonus for doing
Nope.
unexpected?
I
Oh,
wish I did.
darn, it just wasn't in the contract.
Yeah, well because nobody expected it to be that way. Nobody expected us to catch up within this matter of time. But like I managed to organize everything in such a way that we all caught up.
Out of your job.
Yeah, I was so good at my job, I got fired. It sucks,
That's when,
dude. It sucks so bad.
I know. And it's one of those things where it's like, you wish that the job would be like, wow, you finished a month early, so at least here's half a month
Right?
of what of the
Right.
next month, because you're saving us money. So we'll give you half of what you originally would have made if you worked a whole month.
Yep.
That's how well you know.
Yep. But nope. So I was like, you know what? That's fine. I got about 4 months worth of money to be able to go. So even if I had no contract for 4 months, I'd still be okay. Um, but my agent talked to me and she was like, "Look, we got you hooked up. If you can hang tight for like a month and a half, enjoy that time off, and we'll get you when you come back. We already have you lined up." And I was like, "All right, well, I guess a month and a half at home. Fuck it."
Got a vacation. vacation. Hey.
And so that's why I figured I'd work on comic book scripts, clean up the house, do a lot of organizing, get things taken care of. I was looking on write to write two gaming supplements for this company. I have another friend who's working on his own personal development game that he wants to release on Steam, and he was hoping to hire me as a writer for him. So like I still had things to keep me going that would still pay me.
Yeah.
Um, on top of already having 4 months worth of paychecks to last me for to keep me going. So I wasn't really too stressed. But I just got texted I think 2 days ago from my agent going, "Hey, I just got a client who is so desperate, and they got a glowing recommendation from your last job that they're offering 3 days remote and 2 days in office. They're gonna match your last paycheck of the contract, which was the best I've ever been paid, and they're willing to give you 2 weeks off for your vacation immediately in July.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Would you be willing to interview them?" And I was like, well, it's sure. I already had the mentality of being on vacation, but F it. I mean, they're checking off every box I was looking for. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure. So I'm gonna interview with them on Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m.
Hopefully that goes well for you.
I I
It's
I
nice to have.
I think so, only because it seems like it's just procedural. Like they just want to meet in person. They just want to tour me around the office and like go through the whole thing. But it looks like they're already set on meeting a lot of these expectations.
Yeah.
Because by this point, they're already drafting a contract with my agency. So yeah, I told Michelle, and she's excited, and I'm excited. It'd be cute. It's the reason when Helldivers was on sale. I was like, oh my god, I was waiting for this forever. Now that it is, I'm in between contracts, so ah. But then this new contract picks up, and I'm like, oh, maybe never mind.
Uh-huh.
I mean, to be honest, what I would really like is to get like a permanent position, because that way, it helps kind of hold me over it. Like I don't have to worry and like be in stress mode every time.
Right.
Because really, like what I'm building up for ideally is to have a year's worth of paychecks. So if I wanted to take a sabbatical for a year, I could. But I could also use that money for like, other things like, buying a house.
Yeah. Save up and things like that.
So I mean, there's a lot going on. Thankfully, we're not struggling financially. Thankfully, we're doing great. Michelle has a very secure job. Um, I don't mind contract work, but it doesn't make it easy to plan.
Food.
Yeah.
I have food. I have food. Thank you.
Yeah. No, they somebody put down food.
Ah,
Food.
but thankfully, it's all working out pretty good. I know Michelle was saying that usually whenever we wrap up contracts, usually it ends up getting more and more and more and better offers.
Yeah.
So, letting you know, Shun, once you graduate, there's a lot of jobs in accounting.
Yes. I just need to get it done with, and so that's why I'm trying to get as many scholarships as I can. I need to do this because by the time I finish, my son's gonna be 5. It's sort of crazy.
Yeah. Well, I just did the count. After the semester, I only got 13 classes left.
Nice.
Right now, I'm currently taking 3 classes per semester. So, ugh, it'll be a bit.
Yeah, I hear you.
I would love to take summer school or winter session to kind of speed that up a little bit, but my scholarships don't cover it.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up paying out of pocket to go to a community college to kind of keep up on the skills, keep up on the habits, because otherwise, I'm gonna struggle so hard.
Well, we're actually on the same map this time. That's nice.
Yay! I am excited to see in 11 days what they got. But I think we're gonna get a hint this upcoming Tuesday, like when this PvP push winds down, because this PvP focus is only for 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get a teaser for the finale.
Yeah. Because Tuesday is when it is over for what it's called.
The special Wizard Vault.
Yeah,
That's 11 days. This Tuesday is gonna be what?
well, I'm saying for the vault reset for the next season is 11 days, but the PvP rush is only until Tuesday. Is what I'm saying.
Right. I think at the end of Tuesday they're gonna make like the teaser or release the trailer for the new one.
Yeah.
For the finale?
Should be what they're doing. Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
I just realized something.
What?
If I have you as a friend on Steam, what's your Steam?
Yes, you do. I remember you pinged me on it. We were talking on it, weren't we? Because I joked that you have me on everything.
I know that. I'm trying to remember
Boop.
because I'm double checking because I know I play games with you on it.
Yeah, I have you. I am your friend. Are you my friend, Shun?
Yeah, that's a good question because it should be just the same name, right?
No, it's VRYKOS.
That's why it was confusing me. Okay, and then it has the
The little Donald Duck.
DuckTales.
Yeah. I'm a big,
Okay,
I'm a
okay.
big fan of
I was
DuckTales.
confused.
I think you, I think
I
you.
have the remaster of the game.
Oh yeah, I played that. It was one of my few videos that on YouTube that actually got copyright stricken because I had the music on. Yep,
Yeah, Disney's is
I was
bad
shocked.
at that stuff.
Yeah.
Just like Nintendo's bad, like that stuff. Gosh.
But yeah, I think you can rename it the people, can't you?
Yeah.
Go ahead and rename it. That way it's easier for you to remember.
Do you have me on Steam?
Let me check. I'm pretty sure I have you. I don't think Shun has you. Aw, thank you, Shun. I don't even know what the gift is, but thank you, Shun. I'll check it out in a moment. Maybe I do have you, Wins. I don't know if you have her.
What's the name on it?
How do I have it put?
You are a sweetheart, Shun. Thank you so much. I had no problem waiting for it. Well, yes, I have Helldivers 2 now.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Shun. All right, so now I just need to buy it for Michelle.
My game, huh?
Has she ever played third-person shooter games?
Michelle?
Yes.
No, she has not.
Okay, so it might be a little rough for her at first.
Right. I think when it goes on sale, I'll buy it for her. And then I'll have her kind of practice, and I'll practice with her. Really, I think it'll be after we finish Stray Wins.
Yeah.
So right now we're doing 4 seasons of The Walking Dead.
Oh goodness, that's a lot.
Yeah. But, I mean, so far it's pretty good. I love the Telltale games a lot, and I'm really disappointed.
Yeah, I've heard a lot
that-
of good things about them from what I've seen of you playing them.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed that they went under, but another company bought them, so I mean, like, it's still there. But I was just talking to Michelle going, if I could buy or use that engine, that game engine, I would love to just write different things for it.
Right.
Oh yeah, but you could do so much with it.
Yeah. And I don't think you can copyright or I'm sorry, trademark engines or systems. I
Unless it's your own.
well no, even then like tabletop games, for example,
Yeah.
you cannot trademark those. So for example, the system of like D&D,
Yeah.
you can use them in your own game. You just can't use any of the setting and like the names that they've created and the lands. But like
Right.
the mechanics themselves and the idea of that, you can use that as much as you want. I also did not realize that Hasbro owns both D&D and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes.
I don't know what that means, but there's got to be something there.
Must mean
They
something.
own a lot. They're like Disney. They are giants in their industries.
I didn't realize that Disney had originally bought Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from Saban, held it for 4 years, failed in developing anything with it, sold it back to Saban, and then Saban turned around and sold it to Hasbro. And then Netflix tried to do something with it and failed. So Disney, ironically enough, on Disney Plus is now making it into something,
Yeah.
even though they owned it for a while. Now that they don't own it, maybe they'll actually do something with it.
Who knows? Maybe.
I don't know. I just remember because,
World business.
well, a few weeks ago, my friend was talking about, hey, talking about the best guitar riffs ever. And I was like, and everybody was like quoting like classic rock, and I was like, F off. No, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That intro, bro. And they were offended at first, but then they thought about it and they're like, no, actually that was a really good song.
Yeah, like it makes sense actually.
But they were so offended at first.
Uh-oh, where's the disruptor? There's the big dude. Come here. Come here, you. Knocked him down.
Track me down.
I get really aggressive with this, with my
Elementalist? Tempest?
yeah.
Well, you have to be. That's the play style for it.
Oh yeah.
What weapons are you using?
Spear.
Oh, okay.
Which really worked well.
I remember Shun and I had a compare and contrast rifle versus spears.
But I mean, for elementalist, it is what the staff should have been.
Is it faster?
It's faster than the staff, and the spell effects and everything are just, you know, upgraded spell effects and stuff. So it looks amazing too.
Oh, by the way, for the PvP push thing, I assure you, I will never play it with this warrior.
Did you get kind of squished?
So I was playing it with my guardian just to experiment with it, and then I realized just how many effing conditions were being thrown around.
You know you have condition cleanse, right?
How dare you?
Every time we play together, I'm like, especially if I'm not on my healer, like you do have condition cleansing.
It's all about damage. Lord.
Oh, is this one too?
Yeah, condition doesn't matter if you don't get hit.
Well, then you go and stand in all the orange circles, and it's kind of like, yeah, you have to not get hit.
I am drawn to them.
That's just a condition of those that can't dodge it.
Yeah.
What you mean is this would really suck if I was playing alone.
Right. Pretty much. You realize I'm not on my heal brand today, right?
No, the heroes.
Oh my goodness.
So my Tempest is fairly good at getting people up too.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that one is a two. Okay. I'm dragging around
Oh.
parts here.
I have enjoyed their PvP focus. It's been a lot of fun. It's been nice seeing people again. I've also realized that it's a good idea that I'm not on there too often. I forgot how toxic it can be at times.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna grind it for the week, but too much things going on, so I haven't done a single thing of PvP like I
So imagine PvP players now not knowing any of the mechanics and focused on only fighting people.
Because it's surely not their fault for not knowing.
Right. And even if you have a base understanding of it, there's numerous ways to play the mode.
Yeah. I mean, I know the mode basically from Final Fantasy. It's doing like the crystal. I forget what they call it, but it's the push mode from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, it's the push mode here, is what they were calling it. Very, very similar.
We hear you, Mittens. I know you are there. Are they all?
We hear you and we don't judge, Mittens.
I don't know. I judge. I guess. Are they all? Oops. Oh, oh, oh! That hurt. Oh, fell in the lava.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and she's right here. I am.
On my way.
Where she is.
I'm at ground level, guys.
So now here's my question for you.
Huh?
What would you think of a Guild Wars 2 in the future if it was like a full dive?
What do you mean?
So you have your rip books where like you're hooked up into a machine and your consciousness, you're like in the game.
Oh, okay.
On there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like to call it full dive is what I like to call it.
Okay, no, they have that in Shadowrun, the tabletop game, the where you go into it. Okay, I I think like any other game, like it would be fun, but like, are there damage haptics? Like, how deep are we talking here?
I feel every bit of pain.
Because like, I don't know if I want to feel damage haptics. Also, I guarantee you, I would not play that in PvP
Oh yes.
because it would be, oh, do I?
Toxic and oh that hurts.
Well, also, do I want to be stunned for the next 20 minutes? I realize there's so many ways to immobilize someone. It's annoying.
Oh yeah.
Mesmers, necromancers, even rangers, kinda. Oh, and warriors.
And Ellie's.
How do Ellies immobilize you?
Earth or water.
Doing what?
We've got freezes and
I think that just slows you down, though. I don't think there's any like actual freeze. Is there?
I'd have to look.
I don't think there. Well, maybe lightning to stun you for a few seconds as they burst into you.
Oh, the lightning definitely, yeah.
I'm trying.
Because the ice usually slows your
Right.
regen.
I don't think there's anything that like freezes you.
The
Your computer
lightning
does.
definitely does.
What were you saying, Win? Sorry.
I said the lightning definitely does stun.
Yes, yes, I know that one because I know usually that's their opener. Ride the lightning.
Yeah.
I know players. I've been doing this for a while, so I know by what I usually get hit with.
Right. Like, well, here that comes again.
Well, because I gotten used to that. Whenever I see an elementalist and they're rushing towards me, they're probably going to try to lightning bolt me, blast me, and then go into a rotation. So what I usually try to do is I dodge through them and then interrupt the rotation.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them are usually glass cannons or condi heavy.
Yeah. Mittens. Ah. Oh. Okay, that was rude. Knocked me off my mount. I'll just fly there then.
Ah, but I think like that idea would be really cool, Shun, and I think that's probably what they're going to start working a bit more towards because like VR, while still a niche thing, I think is getting more and more traction, especially with AI.
Yeah.
Oh.
Agree. Slightly distracted, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah,
Setting
we're,
up
we're
Minecraft
over
for a
here in
moment.
we're over here in a Convergences, so it's not like we're not distracted too. Oh, ow. Oh, oh.
You know, I played the first Helldivers on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun,
Played
but
Helldivers.
but it was it felt like an made for video action movie. You know,
Yeah.
like it was cool, but there wasn't like no gravitas, no value to it. Like it's something I could play with my friends in an afternoon, and then kind of put it down. Which is why I was very surprised when they got a second game. I was like, oh, it's like a Michael Bay game that got Michael Bay movie that got made into a second game. All right, sure. But the second game looked a lot better.
Something I would normally have got to play, but I had friends that were playing it. It's like, oh, what the heck?
I see.
I'll try it.
And yeah, that's my thing that I'm in. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll see when it goes on sale to get it for Michelle because I don't think
Yeah.
she's gonna want to pay full price for it,
Well, right now,
right? Oh, is it on sale right now?
not a huge one, but yeah, instead of it being $40, it's like 32.
That's fine. Especially if I got this contract. How long is the sale?
I'd have to check.
All right, I'll check in a moment.
Oh no, your moment's up.
Right?
You had one job and it was no.
I'm trying not to die here because I'm so squishy, and there's so many circles.
Candy cleanse here.
Yeah, I'm in a.
Sorry, I was doing some like DPS. I'll switch back to water.
No, no, you're good. Michelle actually usually screams, water, 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 water.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm doing a trial on Minecraft.
A
with
trial?
bunch of yeah, they've got this kind of dungeons called trials now, which are pretty cool. And it's one full of poisoned skeletons.
Oh, did I close it?
Huh?
I think I did close it. All right. Let's see. How long is the sale going on? I'm hoping it goes on until next week, so that way I can verify that I got this new contract. Ends May 27th,
So what is that? Tuesday?
Tuesday. All right. How much? It.
$2.
Yeah, yeah. Save $8. I'll surprise Michelle. Well, thank you, Shun. I really do appreciate it.
This is all your fault, Shun. You did this.
Well, you know, I will let you know when we play, so that way you can join up with us as well.
Oh yeah.
Ah, there's so much going on.
somebody's dying over here. I'm trying.
I couldn't imagine playing this on a
God, all of these people dying. Oops, missed. Sorry.
because they're not paying attention. So
Uh-huh.
we got numerous bosses to fight before we fight the main guy.
Yeah, and they're over there trying to fight the main guy.
Right, and he's practically invulnerable.
Yep.
And then they're like, "Why am I dying?"
Uh-huh.
What is death?
I mean, normally, like, this game is very, very generous in that, for the most part, I will not question what you're playing.
Yeah.
As long as you know what you're kind of doing.
The convergences are they're not as hard as I'm hitting my head. The convergences are not as hard as like the raids, but they are a step up from, you know,
Right.
you get to do your 1-1-1-1 rotation.
But even like with raids, it's more important to like learn the mechanics of the raid than it is like your gear in most situations. I do understand,
Gear's not gonna save you.
right, but I do understand that like a certain threshold for damage is required in some of them.
Yeah.
But I also think that other people will kind of carry you on that.
I'm down. Shit.
Uh-oh. Where are you? I see you. I'm
I'm
gonna.
in a mess.
That's not good.
I'm getting up. I'm getting up.
Okay. Fuck.
Trying to bury your people right now.
But if like I'm saying, "Hey guys, CC, CC," and you're like, "What is that?" I'd be like,
I don't know.
"Bro,
CC, it's two C's together.
right?" I do see. By the
See
way,
what I see.
just so you know, those tornadoes that it blows out, 10 stacks of poison. 10 stacks of poison.
Yep. That's what's ow, and it just blew. I just had. Get up. I'm up. At least I have Candy Cleanse against it.
Yep, I just gotta kind of power through it.
Uh-huh. There we go. Awesome.
But I only have myself to blame.
I play how I want.
Don't be like me, kids. Don't be like me. Michelle was so butthurt in that Batman Telltale game that I had Alfred lose an eye, and then he had PTSD because of some of the choices I made.
Yeah, I'll live with the choices we make.
Right? I told her, hey, Alfred was happy to make these sacrifices. What are you talking about? This is what an employee-employer relationship looks like, Michelle.
Especially when you work for a rich
I pay
corporation.
his I pay his wages and his insurance. I am
Right?
his insurance.
Michelle was so upset. But it was a lot of fun.
I
What?
missed the lose the eye decision.
There's what?
I said I missed the lose an eye decision.
No worries, no worries.
And then what? And then eventually Batman just keels over and dies. What happened?
That happened a lot,
Alfred
actually.
poisoned him. Alfred ended up poisoning him.
It was the butler.
Alfred was tired of his shit.
Cranberry was saying that in her headcanon, in The Walking Dead, she thinks that the main character was Alfred, who ran away from Bruce Wayne.
I will survive.
It's a surprisingly good story. Like I like the characters and I like how it builds it up. Um, Michelle has already jumped 6 times in one episode. It's really given me a lot of hope for the new series I'm looking to run in October of Nothing Scares Michelle. Michelle obviously is not very excited about that,
Yeah, I bet.
but just to look at her face as I'm like pitching her the idea.
Like, why?
Well, I told her there was another one that I was thinking of. Michelle cries all the time, September.
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh God!
And she's like, what the hell is that? And I was like, oh, well, there's a lot of games. I realize there's a market for games that try to get you to emotionally get invested and cry. And I actually found a lot of countdowns, and I was like, I wonder. And she was like, why do you want me to ugly cry on camera? And I'm like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, Michelle. But if you feel the tears flowing, just remember the camera's right there. Just try to
Look
try,
to the left.
try to frame yourself.
Funny. And that's a wrap.
Good job, Michelle. Here's a tissue. Wipe yourself off.
You get a tenth of the subscriptions.
Ow!
Oh my God. Yep. 12 stacks of death.
Oh, I'm up! I'm up! Oh, thank goodness for Convergences. There.
Thank goodness for me sticking close to people and someone else having Condi cleanse.
Right.
Thank goodness for
But
just
he was like
goodness.
really close, so I'm like, I'm not healing anymore. Sorry, guys. I'm smacking too many
I'm
of
on
you
strike.
down.
I'm on strike.
It's like when you start seeing too many people down and it's getting down to that sliver. It's like, nope, we're going fire. You're out of luck.
All of us putting aside our differences and fighting the insurmountable as one.
You're lucky I'm on Tempest because I do have it set
Ooh. I got a
overload.
I got a Supreme Rune of Holding.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Right? I didn't even know that was a possible drop.
Yep,
I
it
didn't
is.
know
Convergences.
Ooh, that is a great drop.
Yeah. I think the most I've gotten to drop from a convergence all at once was 2. Did you just get 1, or how many? Did you
I just got one, but one's enough to make one bag.
Oh no, I
124 slot bag, yes.
Oh,
I see somebody else posting.
Or is it 28? So it's either 24 or 28.
what'd you say, Wins?
I see somebody posting on Map Chat that they got 2.
Yeah, she was just saying that you can get two.
Dang.
Yeah, I am very surprised. I did not expect that. Thank you, ArenaNet.
Thank you, random citizen.
Yeah, wow, tomorrow's already Saturday.
I know.
I think I'm gonna look at.
Try and take it easy tomorrow.
Yeah, you should.
Hopefully ride on Sunday.
You hoping to ride on Sunday? Wow. We ride on Sunday.
Yep. Well, mom rode today, but by the time we got out there, it was kind of late, and I wanted to make sure that mom was able to work with Rhea.
Okay.
She likes when I give her a lesson, so I gave her a lesson, and then I gave Rosie a bath because it was hot, and I think Rosie's got sweet itch, which is kind of an allergic reaction to those dang little biting gnats.
Ew.
Yeah, and makes her scratch herself on stuff, and so I gave her a good bath, and she seemed to appreciate it.
Aw.
Much appreciated.
Yep. And I sprayed her down with lanolin spray and rubbed it into her coat, and she was just like leaning on me, going, "Yes, please, thank you."
Do not stop, human. Do not stop.
Cookie usually does that. In fact, that's what got us, like, when we first met Cookie and we would pet him, he would lean into our pets.
Yeah.
And I was like, aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah, Rosie. make a point of very, very, very rarely giving her treats because she gets food aggressive. She was starved twice,
Oh,
and so she gets very worried about it, and that's not what the treat is for. It should be a reward, and if it's going to make you worried, it's not a reward.
right.
So
Yeah.
instead, what I'll do is I'll scratch her withers like they do to each other. I'll scratch them really good, and she'll stand there and she'll start nodding her head and her lip twitching, going, "Yeah, yeah, right, ooh," and then she'll kind of press into me, going, "Yeah, right, right, right here, ooh."
That's the stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And people will think, "Oh, you have to give them goodies," so they no. She realizes that that's a reward, and it's how I walk in and greet her too, because she can be kind of cranky when you go to put her halter on and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, if you're going to be like that, I'm going to leave. And she,
Yeah.
no, 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 I want attention.
Like, you can bite, please. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like Hallie today. Hallie was over there waiting for me at the gate. She saw me come out. I'm like, look, see, I'm wearing shorts, dear. I'm not riding today because she was ready, man. She rode yesterday, and mom rode her, and she was trying to show mom she could camp.
Oh,
And
okay.
mom's not quite mom's not quite sure, because Hallie being new to it, you have to wear like a baby horse. And
Right.
it's like, okay, this is the way we do it. So mom didn't do it since I wasn't out there. And so Hallie was all ready to show again today. Somebody, if she's going to show somebody she can, or darn it. I said, Sunday, Hallie, I will ride you on Sunday, and I'll make sure mom rides you too, so we can show her how to do it. I mean, you think that they don't like this stuff, but I mean, the mom said, you know, when she went out to get her yesterday, she's like, she came hurrying up, going like a bad movie horse or something. I said, oh yeah, she does that to me all the time. When she thinks you're gonna ride her, here she comes. It's like she's screaming me,
Whoa.
and that's how you want them to be. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother has a so it's funny. The moment that all my so I didn't grow up with any pets. None of my siblings did. My mom just figured
Right.
we had other siblings. And so
It's not the same mom.
uh, I'm one of four siblings and we're all 1 year apart. Um, and so, but the moment that all of them moved out, everyone but me got a dog. Even though we never grew up with pets in our lives.
Well, probably because you didn't. It's like, well, darn it, now we can do it since we're away from mom.
Right. And that's why, like, my mom looked at me and she's like, "You're not going to get a dog?" And I'm like, "Why are you so upset about this?" She's like, "I don't know.
Right.
It just feels like, I guess the childhood I gave you wasn't enough." I'm like, "But it's never
Oh,
enough from their perspective." And also,
right.
who cares? It's their perspective. It's like if I made
Yeah.
you a sandwich that I thought was really cool, but hey, you didn't happen to like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with cheese and hot dogs. Well, that's
That's
that
not mine. Thanks.
right. Like, okay, like, hey man, everybody likes different things. That's not a personal attack against you. But my mom being my mom, just it couldn't get through
Right.
usually. And I sure, sure. But like it laughed because like even then like I did stop and my girlfriend at the time was like, "Hey, she brings up a good point. Why don't you have a dog?" And I was like, "Probably because I'm too selfish." She's like, "What do you mean?" Well, if I had a dog, it means like I wouldn't be able to like go on trips. I'd have to kind of get someone to watch the dog, like take care of the dog or whatever, you know? I'd also have to spend money on food and on vet bills. And like I'd rather
Yep.
use that money on myself. So in a way, like it's because I'm too selfish that I don't want a dog. Also, that's a lot of energy. I don't want someone in my face like that. And
Well,
so
and that's why dogs are okay to me, but I really don't like having one for myself because it's like, okay, settle down. That's enough.
right, but like my brother Oscar, oh, both my brothers actually love that excitement, love
Oh
that
no.
the dog, and I'm like, I understand, and that's cool. It's not for me, but I can see
Yep.
why it would be for you. And so my brother Oscar was like, "Hey, I feel bad that you don't have this in your life," and I'm like, "But I don't need it." Like, do I want companionship? I have a girlfriend for that. Do I,
Well, and
do,
you've got a cat, which is the nice balance of it likes attention, but it
so
will
so at the
doesn't
time
strain on you.
before I was uh so I had one ex who had two cats, but they were clearly her cats, and I just got like petting privileges, and that's because I only wanted petting privileges. It felt like a petting zoo. Like, okay, sure, this is weird, but she took care of them. She fed them. She cleaned their litter bowl. She paid for the vet. Everything related to them she took care of, and that was fine. And then my ex before Michelle didn't have cats, so Michelle, when I met back up with her, because like we had met earlier in college, and then for like 10 years we lost track of each other.
Yeah.
And then by coincidence, because one of the comic books I was working on, I happened to work on with her, and I wanted to give her credit. I kind of looked her up in different places, and I kind of stumbled on her.
Yeah.
And by some miracle, we kind of reconnected. And then when my relationship ended, we hung out a little bit more. And eventually, after hanging out for I think 3 years, we just ended up dating. But even
That's
then,
probably the best way. You know somebody first.
see, I have always disagreed with that. I was never a fan of it. My thing was, hey, if I'm going to get to know you anyways, let's make it a mystery. Let's enjoy the mystery on the way. I'd rather date a complete stranger and get to know you in the process because you know what? I have the same amount of odds. Like this relationship has the same odds of working out. And
I mean,
so,
it's not necessarily that I have to be friends first, but it's always worked out better for me that way, I guess.
but you're not alone. Like I've heard that a lot, mostly from women. Um, but I understand it. I just don't agree with it because for me, I was like, if we were friends first, it didn't make the relationship more likely to last. It had the same odds, and so for me, I've enjoyed it a bit more when dating a complete stranger because I got to know more about you. It took like that lasted longer. That phase of it,
Yeah.
and that was interesting getting to know someone. But it also isn't my deal breaker. Like again, I knew Michelle for 3 years before we dated, and before that, I knew her 10 years prior to that for 2 years before her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we knew each other, and she had a cat, and so when we moved in, it was again her cat. I just had petting privileges, and it worked out. It worked out fine. Now, when she lost her cat uh, last year in St. Patrick's Day,
Uh-huh.
it was a question about does she want to have another cat, and so her thing was that she wanted to have another cat, but she wanted to share ownership of the cat with me. She wanted to be co-parents,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, well, I'll be honest, I was never drawn to that. That was not something I wanted to do, but I'm not saying no. I'm saying give me a few days to wrap my head around it.
Right.
And so I did, and I was like, look, it would make it a lot easier for me if we could just divide up some of the chores because I'm not used to this.
Right.
And so Michelle agreed that she would clean up the litter bowl, she would buy the food, I would give him his water, I would do his vet checkups, and then we would both be responsible for him, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. As a heads up, though, because I'm a bit more invested, kind of like in a company, I'm also going to want a bit more of a say. And I may give a bit more of a pushback. I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't want to say this to threaten you, but I'm just saying I'm gonna be a bit more invested.
Yeah.
And so she was like, oh, that's totally fine. And so, yeah, we went to go to a shelter to adopt Cookie. And so at first, his name was originally Chardonnay. And I could tell by the look on Michelle's face, because Michelle has the worst poker face imaginable, that she did not like the name Chardonnay. So I was like, hey, do you want to change his name? She's like, oh, thank God, yes. I was like, okay, well, let's think about what we want to change his name to. And so we both like pitched lots of different things. And I was like, hey, look, I don't want to say this to get my way because it's not about my way or your way. It's a compromise. But what I have read recently is if the pet ends in like an E or EY or an E type of name like Chewy, Bucky, whatever, it makes it
Right.
easier for the owners to bond with it. And she's like, really? I'm like, I don't know how much value there is, but here's the report for it, and here's what they found.
Right.
And she was like, well, I don't mind. I'm like, well, your last cat was named Blackie, so that kind of went with the formula you're talking about.
Right.
So we went back and forth, and I think it took us half a day. To, eventually, I settled on the idea of how about Cookie?
Yeah.
It was like he look his fur markings look like chocolate chip, and he's a little bit brown in looking, and he looks like a chunky chocolate chip cookie. And so she was like, okay. And so we kind of went with it. And so she was like, all right, but you have to fill out the paperwork and you have to go pick him up. And I was like, all right. What she didn't realize is I felt a little inspired when I picked him up. And so when I had to register his legal name, he is
That's the Cookie Von Chunk.
he's Count Cookie Von Chunk the First.
You sound like me,
Right?
except for I wasn't quite as original. No, I had a great uncle, Ted, and I only ever really truly met him like 3 times in my life before he died.
Okay.
But he was still alive at the time, and for some reason, I named all of my goldfish after him.
Really?
Ted Jr., Ted the Third, Ted the 28th, and it wasn't even like legitimately 28 goldfish before I got to the number. Just randomly
random
decided
number?
this goldfish
Random
is
number.
Ted the 28th, and my grandpa always liked to make fun of him, saying that I, his grandson, was naming his goldfish after his brother, and that the only one to last long enough to really be a legitimate pet was one that lasted for 3 years. All the others lasted a month.
Aww.
And he's like, so yeah, there's a lot of Teds. They usually end up dead, but
Aww.
so it was just kind of funny. I don't know why, but yeah, I was very much into Ted the Third, the 28th, the Bartholomew, the blah blah blah. Yeah.
I can tell that Michelle got very annoyed very quickly because I was like, hey, 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 he's just a little kitty. What are you doing? or,
I had oh, sorry, go ahead.
or hey, fine, I'll do it. Like today when I fed him tuna, she was like, you can't keep feeding him tuna every day. I'm like, I didn't say I was feeding him every day. And he says, I'm supposed to feed him. No, that's fine. I was trying to help you. I'm trying to be considerate because I know you've had a long day, and I also kind of promised him tuna on Friday. What? When? We have talks. We talk all day. I was like, I'm not giving it to him every day. It's a Friday.
Usually about tuna, but yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
No, I had a tarantula
Oh, wow.
because I had one. It actually lived for like 8 years.
Wow.
But it scares off other spiders, and I live where brown recluse spiders are and stuff like that, and
Oh, yeah.
black widows, and so I lived in the basement. So I'm like, I want a pet like that, and so
Yeah.
but everyone would always ask me for the pet's name, and I'd always answer the same way, classified. And they would just keep asking me, hey, what's the spider's name? I'm like, it's classified. And so they would finally give up, and finally when it died after 8 years, they're like, what was your spider's name? I'm like, the name was classified. So just a silly name like that. A spider known as classified, and always wanted to know what his name was, and always knew the answer but didn't.
I'm not so creative with the cats. I had Fluffy and Mittens over there, but the horses, I used to be the one that name them all the time. I mean, and I mean, they have their stable names, but then they have their fancy registered names too.
Mhm.
So, Hallie is Halcyon. Um, Winnie's last baby was Winsome Legacy
Wow.
because his name was Winsome Star.
Oh, nice.
Some of the other ones I named, let's see, one was Sweet Poetry because her dam was Sugar and Spice and her sire was H.M. Poet.
Wow. Those classy names.
Yeah. We had one that was Cotton Candy because it was from the same mare, Sugar and Spice, and then her sire was Circus Dancer. So kind of going with the circus theme. Had another one that was Harlequin Dancer that was the son of his. So, did quite a bit of horse naming anyway. And then they have their, their stable names, which may or may not have anything to do with their actual name or not.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I remember one time we had a student who was showing Sugar and Spice, and she won the halter class, and we're like, go, 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 that's you. And she didn't realize that was her name because her barn name was Squeaky.
Okay.
Because she sounded like she would talk to you, and then she would squeak and make all sorts of noises, talk, and especially if she was irritated with you, she would treat you like one of her babies. She was, broodmare, and she was used to handling these children. And if she was annoyed, like you could even be riding her, and she decides she didn't want to do something, she'd stop and stomp her foot. Go, well, excuse me. But then you'd work on her with it and convince her to do it. And then when you got her to do it, she'd stand there and go, ooh, 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 like, you're such a good girl. She talked a lot.
Michelle Michelle isn't a fan of Cookie's talkative nature.
Oh, I'm not a fan of Mitten's talkative nature either. We've come to a compromise. If he talks nicely to me instead of screaming, because I don't mind the chattering and stuff. Like Fluffy used to talk to me all the time, but it was little chatters instead of
Just
screaming at the top of
screams,
their lungs.
meow.
Yeah, it sounds like meow all the time. It's like no, not now, nothing.
I joke that it's Cookie speaking in all caps at her.
Oh God, I know.
But he's only right, but he's only done that with her. Like he doesn't normally talk to me that way. And so that's why I see it and I'm like, huh. But when I'm the one feeding him or like giving him treats, then I start seeing that side of him. I think it's like what you were talking about in terms of like he's traumatized by food, and so like he wants to make
Yeah,
sure he's fed.
that could be. Yeah,
Um, again, he had a rough little 2 years of life,
yeah.
so I understand. But like I find it I find it cute and endearing, and I try to do what I can with it because I understand a bit more. And also like I'm not usually dealing with it, so it's easier for me to put up with it.
Well, Mittens before I couldn't really do a whole lot about because with Fluffy around, if I tried to pay the attention to him, which is part of the reason he screamed too, I'm sure, because he felt like he had to yell to get attention. His mother, got more attention. It's like, well, come over here. I will protect you. I won't let her bully you. But that was a whole nother thing. But now that
Yeah.
she's gone, I can have these talks with them about not screaming, please. And like when I go and feed them, I don't know if you've ever heard me like when we're on Discord, but I'll tell them you need to say please, Nayos. No, you need to say please, please, mommy, and he'll think about it and he might scream again. And I go no, please, meow. And if I go meow, then he'll kind of sometimes it's still loud, but it's like okay, I'll throw a fur in there.
Michelle has the same process with it with Cookie. It's hilarious because and so has he. Like I think they do learn over time. I think it's just a matter of being consistent.
I mean, cats can learn. At one point, I had mine trained where they would sit on command, just like a dog.
Oh yeah.
Because you can do all that stuff, but you have to be even more so with cats than something else. You have to be very consistent.
Right. Yeah.
Best.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go to bed, but it's been fun with you guys tonight.
Definitely. Thank you for jumping on. I know.
Good to see ya.
I'm glad things are working out better.
Yeah,
Yes,
glad I
yes.
was able to make it to the dungeon run.
Yeah. I'll let you know in about, I don't know, 6 to 8 months when we get through The Walking Dead.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I gotta run.
All right. Well,
Have a good one.
I'll be logging off here as well. I don't think I'll be able to survive to the next one. So thank you guys for everything. Thank you, Shun. Thank you, Wins. Much appreciated. If you guys are seeing this on YouTube, hello. I haven't posted a lot of our Guild Wars 2 stuff on YouTube in a bit because I was just trying to post story stuff, but that's also going to be running out soon. So, since the last episode of Guild Wars 2 that you're probably watching, it was probably been maybe 2 months. Hello from the future.
Right.
Well, we're gonna keep trying to play,
Winning lottery numbers.
right? I'll keep trying to post stuff on here. I know ArenaNet just opened their doors for ArenaNet partners, so I'll apply for that as well. But that also means that I should post more often here. If you guys want to see us every single time, I do stream on Twitch every time, even if I don't post it on YouTube. So be sure to check us out. See some of our links in the description below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. We talked about a lot today. But it was nice. I actually like these type of talks. I feel in between story sessions, we have moments like we can express opinions, and I think this was very, very cool and very helpful. So hopefully we'll see you again. If you're on Twitch and you're watching this as a VOD, be sure to check out our schedule, see what's playing, see if there's anything that you might like. We love to hear from you. Sometimes even literally, we love hearing from you. So always feel free to tune in. We're happy to see you. We're happy to have you here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Much appreciated. We will catch you tomorrow for The Walking Dead. Our long odyssey on the way to someday playing Stray, and then someday after that, Helldiver 2. Maybe the world will not die in in a fiery apocalypse, right? If you're still around, awesome. All right, guys, have a good night. Enjoy your evening. Bye.
Good night.